Let's continue our discussion on economics and talk about what market structures are. This is part 3 in a series of videos. I would strongly recommend watching 1 and 2 first. Okay, competition. Competition by definition is rivalry between businesses that provide similar products or services or that target the same audience of customers. Yes. So for example, GM and Ford are competitors, but General Motors and Boeing are not really competitors that I know of. 4 types of competition and market structures. The first one is perfect competition. Next one is monopolistic competition. The next one is oligopoly. And the last one is pure monopoly. And of course, we shall discuss these in detail. The first is perfect or pure competition, and there are buyers and sellers of a product. No one buyer or seller controls or impacts the product's price. So they can't come in and say, okay, we're going to lift the price today, and everybody else has to follow suit. If they raise the price, chances are they're going to be alone. It is based on supply and demand, which we'll do a lot more of later, and it's characterized by a large number of small firms in the market. The firms sell similar products. Buyers and sellers have good information about prices, sources of supply, etc. I question whether this is really ever true. It is relatively easy to open a new business or close an existing one. So, for example, farm products, rice, wheat, corn, family restaurants, local convenience stores, and so forth. The next one is monopolistic competition, otherwise called imperfect competition, and it's when the market has many firms offering similar but differentiated products. Firms have some market power from product differentiation like brands, and they can also enter or exit the market freely. Some examples are like branded hotels, restaurants, clothes. They don't have a monopoly, but like, for example, if they want to raise the price of hamburgers or something, they might be able to push the market in that direction. Product differentiation, developing and promoting differences between one's products and similar competition, similar competitor products. So for example, toothpaste. In a toothpaste, it's kind of the same thing, but we all have our favorite brands, the flavors, the colors, and all that. Deodorant, gasoline, pizza, etc. So monopolistic competition is characterized by the market has many players. Firms' products are close substitutes, but with small differences that are emphasized with quality, brand, or other. And it's relatively easy to enter the market. Yeah, that term relative is pretty loose. Oligopoly, a market or industry with few sellers that share production of most or all output. So this is typically there are high costs to enter the market, limiting the number of firms that can participate. Each seller has significant control over price, and one seller can have a strong effect on competitors. So the government needs to ensure in these type of markets that the players don't do price fixing or other illegal coordination. Some examples are Boeing and Airbus, Toyota, Honda, GM, BYD in the EV market, mobile phone service, airlines, insurance, car rental, farm machinery, NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, and others similar. A pure monopoly is a market or an industry with one seller, or basically one seller. And it's characterized by one firm that dominates the sales. They set prices. Pretty much the firm is that industry. So in reality, there's one big player and there's a lot of small players that live between the elephant's toes, as they like to say. And yeah, that keeps the governments happy. Barriers to entry prevent new firms from competing with the existing firms. So there's high entry costs, tech, IP, and so on. So is Microsoft? It's debatable. Water supplies, most likely electricity, usually weapon systems, often. So then there are also natural and legal monopolies. A natural monopoly is an industry that requires huge investments in capital, and where the most efficient number of firms in that industry is one. So duplication of facilities is wasteful and not in public interest. So electricity, water, piped gas, wired internet. Some people might argue certain computer chips. Then there's the legal monopoly, which is also a limited monopoly, and this is a government-sanctioned franchise. So the government allows this to happen. They approve of it. They license copyright, patent, or trademark, protect the owners from unauthorized use by competitors. So baseball leagues, trademarks, for example, a Nike swoosh, you can't use that. And another example of a monopoly is AT&T up until 8 January 1982 was a natural monopoly, and they operated with the government permission. They were a legal monopoly. They did land phone lines. So at that time, there weren't too many cell phones or mobile phones. You could not install, modify, use your own phones, modems, etc. They would come and literally tear it out and charge you for it. Prices were fixed and rather high, and businesses paid more than home users. In exchange, AT&T had to use a percent of its revenue for research. So yeah, AT&T Bell Labs. Now, I won't argue with the quality of phone service. AT&T had the world's finest quality of phone service, very innovative. But people got tired of it, and they started a campaign. When they saw it coming, they started this campaign that was WMBTOPCITBWTNTALI. And yes, I saw this I think came out when I was in 6th grade, and I still remember it. It was, "We may be the only phone company in town, but we try not to act like it." Yeah, they were trying to fight the breakup and the growing unpopularity of the company. So they argued that the cheap equipment would cause the customers and them problems. They would cause interference on the phone lines. There would be incompatibilities, and the phone company, there's just no way they could support, the thousands of privately made phones coming in. So ads included that "we may be the only phone company in town, but we try not to act like it" slogan. They pushed that time and time again on the TV. And again, this is why I remember it, is because as a kid, we just saw that over and over. As of today, much of the breakup has been reversed because this is not surprising for a natural monopoly. Phone type service is a natural monopoly. This is a very nice little summary. The characteristics, the number of firms, firms' ability to control price, barriers to entry, product differentiation, and some examples. And this is all the stuff we just covered: the perfect competition, pure monopoly, monopolistic competition, oligopoly. And so then all the things. Okay, that's it. On to part 4.